Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly would appreciate trying to help the channel grow. Please tell your friends and family about it. And if you come across the channel, please subscribe and hit the likes before leaving. Muchly would appreciate that as this channel has been in business for over 2 years now. And we have built a channel built on integrity of avoiding just gossip stories, and we kind of take pride in the fact that we focus on reviewing the games, talking about what's going on with actually inside the Habs, and we wait till actual factual stuff falls, and before just discussing a whole bunch of rumors. We're not into that. Just to get a story, not there with that. All right, we're going to discuss this. You're going to you can leave your messages as well, comments. Tell me what you thought. Just keep them respectable. We're building a good, solid community here, and we like to be respectful with one another. So leave your comments. Tell me what you thought of the game. This is going to be a rough review because I am very unhappy with um, what's going on with the Habs in basically a week. It's just they're back to some old habits, and it's been ever since the Toronto game. All right, so we managed to come back. However, there's no doubt. Let's make it clear. Jersey won this in overtime. Even though had we won this, we wouldn't have deserved it. Let's make that frank. Dobish was truthfully the only reason this game was as close as it was. Yes, the first line was playing all right, fairly well. Doc played well. And the second line had moments. But there's the defense was just horrific tonight. And a couple of the lines, a couple of players you expect to see more from. It just wasn't there tonight. And they were always 3 steps behind. And it seems to have been that way since Toronto put the beating on us. I don't know what got into our heads, but we have not been playing the way we were when we were having success. All right, so final score is 4-3 in overtime. So at least, yes, it's respectable. I grant them that. But I'll tell you, a lot of luck for that game being as close because Jersey outplayed these guys all the way. Like I said, without Dobish in the net, this game's not close. And I don't even, I've seen the previous game. They're not working that hard enough in front of their goaltenders, either one of them. So anyway, let's get to the stats real quick. First period was 2-0 for Jersey. Second period started 1-2 for Montreal, who had a good comeback period. But again, they always seem to be behind in step. Third period, 1 goal for Montreal, so they tied this thing up. And then we went to overtime, and we really had momentum on our side. And you don't want to, discredit too many guys. But anyway, Jersey gets the overtime goal. Mistake made for the pass behind Lonnie. Put a pass that was just a little too far behind Matheson, and Jersey took full advantage of it. Mayer and Hughes took off down the ice with Matheson chasing Mayer, but Mayer did the right thing, passes it up to the player in front of him, which is Jack Hughes. The moment I seen that on Jack Hughes' stick going in on a breakaway, I knew this game was over. You can't have him coming in there. So we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We had an opportunity to steal a game again because we definitely didn't deserve to win this. Anyway, Allen gets the win. Dobish gets a loss. Unfortunately, can't make himself one of those guys that had 6 straight wins. There's no way he gave it every attempt in the world because he really held this team in this game to keep the score close. It really wasn't as close as it ended. So with that being said, Jack Hughes gets the winning goal. So let's talk about Jack Hughes scores at 4:06 in overtime, and the New Jersey Devils beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3 Saturday night. Jake Allen made 29 saves in the first regular season's start against the Canadiens since being traded by the Montreal Canadiens to the New Jersey Devils March 8th, 2024. Hershire and Bratt and Tatar also scored for the Devils, who won their second straight game after losing 9 of their previous 11. Then we go. The third star was first star, Nick Suzuki. He had a really good game, Nick. The first line was fairly good. 1 goal, 2 assists, +3. Slavkovsky had a good game. I still want to see more from him defensively, although he was doing some, but there's just times he lets up in his own end. He's got to keep that 2 hands on the stick and the feet moving, because he played a good game, but there were moments where not moving your feet and there's not 2 hands on the stick, and it's the defensive play that bothers me. So he's the second star, and Bratt was the third star. 1 goal, 1 assist for an even plus minus. So Slav had a +3 with Suzuki, setting up a couple goals. So let's go to the scoring summary. 15:52. Nico Hershire scores, assisted by Bratt and Newsom. And this was ridiculous. This was a case of how this was on, which I was shocked that this was on Yoel Armia, and how Hershire gets away from him. This has been Montreal of late. This is when they get in trouble in their own end. Get physical. Come on. There's no way a guy should be skating. And he skated, up the boards, and there's no reason the Armia shouldn't have had him. And he lost him, and he was behind him. But he blows right by Evans as well, and that's just uncharacteristic of these two. And they did have an okay game, the two of them. But there's just a couple of uncharacteristic plays by the two of them. This one here. And then defensively, where is, Gooley? I think it was Matheson with him, but they didn't, just didn't. He blew by 3 people and without being scathed, and that can't happen. Then we get the second goal at 17:48. Bratt gets one, and again assisted by Hamilton and Dillon. And once again, here we go again. This is where this one's on Hudson and Matheson, and I believe it's Cole Caulfield. These 3 should have, between the 3 of them, again, he blows by them. They should have had him. I don't know what went on there, and there's both of these goals. There's just no way Dobish is getting any help. He's not stopping these when you're going to let these guys walk in. So it is what it is. I don't care who's in the net now. We've seen a bit of this the game before as well. So the goaltenders are both getting stranded a bit at times, and the sloppy play has begun since the Toronto game. And then finally, we get a response in the second period. We had some moments where we had some momentum in our favor. However, I just found a lot of the time, for the majority of the game, they were always 2 to 3 steps ahead of us. So 3:50, Nick Suzuki gets a beautiful goal assisted by Cole Caulfield and Slavkovsky, and he made no mistake, and he had a good solid game. And then 12:56, how do you let Matheson? I think that was Matheson. Anyway, and we know it was Matheson. I forget who's. I think it's Hudson. Anyway, either way you look at it, they were. How do you let him walk in there? Tatar walks in and is able to scoop up the puck in front of the net and plow his way in. I just don't get this. I don't get the play of the Habs whatsoever in that sense. Then at 17:05, Cole Caulfield scores, assisted by Suzuki and Slavkovsky. And that puts us within 1. We go into the third period at 3:34. Carrier gets a nice shot with a nice blast from the point, assisted by Caden Gooley and Nick Suzuki. I'm going to tell you, on those first 2 goals, though, Caden Gooley looked like garbage. Caden Gooley, like I said, I don't know what happened if you know what I mean. If maybe he was gave up some physicality at home before going to it. If you know a hockey player knows what I'm talking about. He played disastrous in that first period. He was one of the worst, and I wasn't even impressed with Cole Caulfield or Armia or even Evans. And Hudson had his problems too. This defense was extremely shaky. Same thing, you get the odd giveaway by Jack Eye. Mind you, I found the third line tonight probably more consistent than the other two. Now, Gooley and Carrier got better as the game went on, um, but they were shaky. That first period, it was horrific. So, not impressed. I don't know what's going on, but if I think it's got to be time over for the players getting no practices. Marty doing that, they haven't earned that right by the way they're playing right now. So it goes into overtime, and we had the momentum in our favor. It was so sad because we'd worked hard to get back, but remember, like I said, make no mistake, Jersey outplayed the Habs, but it looked like things were going right in overtime for us, and it looked like we were going to do something. And uncharacteristically, Lane just gets that pass behind Matheson, and kind of troubled me that I just didn't see enough effort for us getting back to catch Jack Hughes. It's like you're behind Mayer, but there's just not enough effort. So I didn't like the effort I seen getting back. So this was, let's look at the stats: 44 shots to 32 in favor of Jersey. So Dobish did his job and really worked hard. That's the only reason we went to overtime, because we didn't deserve it. Hits 20 to 17 for the Habs, although you wouldn't know it. Faceoffs 40 to 36 for Jersey. 0 for 1, both clubs on the power play, and our power play is looking really. We need some serious practicing from here on in, because they got to clean that mess up. They give sloppiness in their own end. They can't seem to get pucks out of their own end anymore. They're back at doing what was causing them trouble, and the power play is just too much playing with the puck instead of putting pucks on net. And then we got giveaways, 12 apiece. Penalty minutes, 2 apiece. Takeaways, 3 apiece. Fairly even in that regard. Block shots, 32 to 22. Montreal did go through a period there in the third period where, like, Caden Gooley was doing well in the block shots department, so he was better as the game went on. And a lot of players were dropping in front of pucks. But you just can't have this lack of consistency. And I don't know what's gotten in, because that's how I see it. I don't want to crap all over our club, but the moment we choked when we had Toronto, even though we beat New York, we still showed the signs of sloppy play. We've been playing a bit sloppy in our own end. We've had trouble every game, and it's got to get cleaned up, because it's almost like they forgot again how to, and they've gone back to playing in this confused state in their own end. And this not being able to get the puck out is ridiculous. Just, I don't care if you have to ice it, but don't give me these cheap. And that goes for Jack Eye. I mean, this is a couple games in a row he's done that. Short, not enough mustard on the puck, and it's a giveaway. And it's not just him; it's quite a few players are doing this. Cole Caulfield didn't have a good defensive game in the first period, and he had some giveaways. I found there was a lot of Habs giving away. There was a lot of giveaways, and our defense was really shaky. Just we looked really bad in our own end. So for me, I'm not happy at all since the game, but since we played Dallas, that was the last time I was impressed with our play. Toronto onward, because we didn't capitalize. We had a good solid first period against the Leafs and just didn't capitalize, and should have made it and gave up a disastrous 7 goals. It's like that did something to the boys. And if I'm Marty St. Louis, guess what? I'm looking at Nick. Yeah, I was giving you guys breaks from practice, but you know what? Now the team's right back to square one, where, yes, I'll give them this. They were in it, at least. And they've been in the games for the most part, other than Toronto. But there's a cycle here, and they are in a funk where defensively they are back to playing extremely sloppy. You can't allow players to skate past three guys and he's untouched. Your goaltenders can only stand on their head for so long. I'm extremely unimpressed. I liked Kirby Doc's game, but he did make a mistake too on one of those goals. First or second one behind the net. And he was a part of it, but he did have a strong game. Um, Newhook had an okay game. Lonnie or Lina, however you want to pronounce it, had an okay game. I would have expected more. I was a little, I was a bit disappointed from the Gallagher line, to tell you the truth, too. Um, just didn't see enough. Anderson seemed to be working, but I just didn't see enough from that line. And thank God Pizzetta wasn't in penalty trouble, but boy, are they missing Heineman. There is no doubt. I know they're stuck with Pizzetta for the time being. Boy, do we need Heineman back, because he was such an example to the rest of the team, working his tush off and hitting. This team's got to get back to basics and clean things up, because as fast as they were in the playoff picture, they're going to be out of it. If they, like, we got fortunate enough to get a point last night, but if we don't turn this ship around, we're going to be sitting on the outside and we won't get back in, because there's too many teams. Like, you got Detroit, New York now catching us, and now Jersey back in the picture. So you got a big log jam there, and now Sens and Bruins have pulled ahead of us slightly, and I believe Columbus too. So there's a big log jam, and this is not the time to choke. We were doing so well. So anyway, we got to get back to basics. Habs got to get back to basics, and they got to clean this mess up. And the little luxuries of giving guys a break, um, and letting them not practice as heavy, I think that's when you earn it. When you earn those type of breaks, they haven't earned it. There may be four players that in last night's game, like I say, the first line, but it still could add some moments that they could have done more. But it was their best line by far, and Kirby Doc from the second line. Um, After that, it really, I mean, I was a little I really was. I mean, Jake and Armia did well on the penalty kill, but I wasn't impressed that big with the rest of their game, like we usually are. And I don't know if it's the aware of I believe it's they are missing that other part that was working so well. The three of them having Heineman, who worked his tush off. So, and then the same thing, the third line. Even the third line wasn't as good as it's been. But make no mistake, this team was 2 to 3 steps behind, and they have been ever since they came out with that Toronto game. They've been 2 to 3 steps behind the opponents, and that's got to change. And that's work ethic, and I mean, cleaning up that defensive zone play. It's got to clean up, because it looks horrendous again. It's just not pretty looking, and I'm not trying to crap on them. I grant them they've been respectable, but their losses, and their crucial losses. No reason why you couldn't have beat Detroit. You needed that game. I even think we could have won this game the way Dobish played, had our boys played awake and put the effort in, moved their feet. Sluggish. Just as the title says, no sense of urgency. And boy, they better find their sense of urgency in a real quick hurry, because this is the problem. If you're going to let up in key moments, this is problematic. So anyway, that's it. We'll talk to you I got to find out who are we playing next. Uh, I know I seen the Wild in the schedule, but we'll get there. Give me one moment here. Okay, I believe it's the Wild. Something tells me it is. That's amazing. It's the Jets. The Jets. We have the Jets coming in. That should be a real big challenge. We need a wake-up call here. We got the Jets on Monday. And then we have, I believe, the Wild on Thursday. So these are big games coming into town, and it's almost like we play better on the road. But we better get our act together. We got to start winning the piece. You can't just, it's not the time to fall asleep. Thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Ice Productions. Sorry, tell me what your opinion is. Keep it respectable. But again, I'm going to be honest with you as a fan base. I expect a heck of a lot more from this team than what I've been seeing in this last week. Now, I grant you, like I said, at least they kept it respectable, other than the Toronto game. But they have not been themselves since the Toronto game. They better find themselves. Thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Ice Productions, where the puck drops first. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends and family about it. Share the video and hit subscribe and likes. Thank you. God bless.